Okay, so today I thought I would talk about the importance of playing softly. Raise your hand if you've ever been told by any musician to play softer. Raise your hand if you've ever been told by musicians to play louder. Raise your hand if you feel as if you can never make everybody happy. So we've chosen an instrument that is, by in its own nature, quite large and potentially loud. I will say this though, the majority of the time that I get hired for, especially theater productions, I feel as if the reason I keep getting asked back is because of two reasons. The first is that I don't overplay both volume-wise and busyness. And the second is I'm able to read the charts. We'll get to that in a later lesson. So, that being said, what I would like to talk about today is how to play softly and how to practice playing softly. It's really not all that hard when you think about it. You just have to practice playing soft, which is not the most fun thing to do. Okay? You sit behind this kit, you want to go, okay? It's powerful, If you're playing jazz, even jazz players can play loud, Was Buddy Rich a soft drummer? Not really. No, not really. He could play soft, but he wasn't necessarily known for playing soft. Something to also consider about playing soft. You are going to have people tell you to play soft when you're in a room that's small, or if you're playing with instrumentalists that are not amplified. That's obvious. You're going to be asked to play loud when you're in the studio because the engineer feels that's the best way for the instrument to speak the best. If I hit this snare drum like this, the argument is that the instrument has ways of speaking. Is it whispering or is it screaming? And when it's screaming, you're actually utilizing the maximum potential of the sound. That being said, there are some drummers who have made careers out of playing fairly softly in the studio. And the engineers that are good know how to mic a drummer that plays a certain way. So you should ask the engineer to engineer to you, not for you to play to them. It's like asking Yo-Yo Ma to can you play your cello upside down? I'm being stupid, but the idea is you're asking the musician to completely change the way they do something, when I think it's a lot easier for them to place the microphone over here than it is to move it from here to over here, than for you to all of a sudden become a new drummer. Doesn't make any sense. So engineers, you've been told. Ooh yeah. But bump. Okay, so here's a drum fill. Slowly. Nothing too crazy hard there. Let's play that same drum fill a little bit slower, but also bring down the volume to maybe a medium volume. Do you hear the difference? Now let's play it really soft. It's not easy to do because you're forcing your body to be less. We as humans are always trying to be faster, stronger, and more mighty. And it comes out in all different ways. And your instrument and your passion is certainly going to be one of those ways. So your instincts are not to play softer, but you might be playing in a show where there's the singers are not mic'd, and so therefore you need to play really soft. I've played in groups that have all string players. For playing with that kind of player and in that kind of setting, you're going to have to bring your volume down. And what's going to happen is if you haven't practiced this, you're not going to be able to do it. And what's going to happen is this. You're going to start out great. And then like 30 seconds in, you now sound like this. Because you're getting comfortable and you're vibing. Then 30 seconds later. So you're going to do like a long crescendo, okay? So what we need to do is we need to put on a timer. There's an imaginary timer right here, and it's going to just say like 30 seconds or a minute. And all I want you to do is to play something, your favorite beat of the day, and just play it really soft. Here I go. Okay, so I played softly. Were there some dynamic shifts? Yes, and that's the idea of playing musically. So let's take something like a John Mayer-ish type groove. Like. Okay, get the idea? Now let's play that super, super, super soft, like a gazillion pianos. Here we go. The challenge really is in making it all feel as similar as possible. Obviously this feels a lot different than this. Notice I'm making my drum face because the drum face is all psychological. So if you see somebody going, oh yeah, that's good stuff. If you see somebody make that face, it means they like it. And so, will they like it at that? You have to learn from your audience and from your bandmates what is acceptable. In every rehearsal I'm in, after we play a song or two, my first question to whoever's in charge in the room is, how is my volume? And then I ask him, how was the tempo? So I want to make sure that those two things are talked about, with me also engaging that conversation, as opposed to them coming to me later and saying, hey man, you're playing too loud. If you show the room that you are mindful of what's happening in the room, it's going to give you a lot of brownie points. Lastly, drum fills played soft. Now, how many of you have seen about 1 million drummers going absolutely ballistic around the drum set as fast as they possibly can, doing all these linear chops and all crazy stuff, and it's all at one dynamic? It pisses me off because what they're telling me is that they can't do the other. And therefore, I just don't think you've actually put enough time into your craft or into your musicality. Can you do that? Can you do that soft? You know, the answer is hopefully. Yeah, it's all about control and practice. You don't want to go to the practice pad and, show me your best drum corps chops. You actually want to go there and practice dynamic exercises. So playing with, soft and loud and everywhere in between. Can, as the soloists start playing their 20-minute solos, uh, you can actually move around from there so that the story that you're telling is interesting to the listener. If I just did that one thing for the 10-minute jazz standard, if I just did that forever, people would get bored. More bored than they already are by what you're playing. I guess I'm full of jokes today, guys. Sorry. But here's the idea. So I'm giving variety. I'm offering some place to go to, some sort of peaks and valleys. That's what we always talk about. Move us, and the way you move us is being able to control yourself.